ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्य ईश्वरम्। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। कृत्वा समानाः अनिलौ जितासना कृत्वा समानावनिलौ जितासना सोदानमुत्थाप्य च नाभिचक्रतः सोदानमुत्थाप्य च नाभिचक्रतः शनैर्हृदि स्थाप्य धियोरसि स्थितम् शनैर्हृदि स्थाप्य धियोरसि स्थितम् कण्ठात् भ्रुवोर्मध्यमनिन्दितायनत् Kanthat bhruvor madhyamaninditayanat Kritva samana vanilojitasana Sodanamutthapya च नाभिचक्रतः शनैर्हृदि स्थाप्य धियोरसि स्थितम् कण्ठात् भ्रुवोर्मध्यमनिन्दितायनत् Anyone? कृत्वा समानावनिलौजितासना सोदानमुत्थाप्य च नाभिचक्रतः शनैर्हृदि स्थाप्य धियोरसि स्थितम् कण्ठात् भ्रुवोर्मध्यमनिन्दितायनत् माताजी कृत्वा समानावनिलौजितासना सोदानमुत्थाप्य च नाभिचक्रतः शनैर्हृदि स्थाप्य धियोरसि स्थितम् कण्ठात् भ्रुवोर्मध्यमनिन्दितायनत् कृत्वा after placing samano in equilibrium anilau the prana and apana airs jita asana having controlled the sitting posture sa sati udanam the life air uthapya raising cha and nabhi chakrataha at the circle in the navel shanai gradually hridi in the heart sthapya placing dhiya with the intelligence urasi toward the pulmonary passage sthitam having been placed kanthat through the throat bhruvo of the eyebrows madhyam to the middle anindita the blameless sati anayat raised translation and purport by Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki jai. First of all, she sat in the required sitting posture and then she carried the life air upwards and placed it in the position of equilibrium near the navel. Then she raised her life air mixed with intelligence to the heart and then gradually toward the pulmonary passage and from there to between her eyebrows. Purport, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The yogic process is to control the air passing within the body in different places called Shat Chakra, the 6 circles of air circulation. The air is raised from the abdomen to the navel, from the navel to the heart, from the heart to the throat, from the throat to between the eyebrows, and from between the eyebrows to the top of the cerebrum. That is the sum and substance of practicing yoga. Before practicing the real yoga system, one has to practice the sitting postures because this helps in the breathing exercises which controls the airs going upwards and downwards. This is a great technique which one has to practice to attain the highest perfectional stage of yoga, but such practice is not meant for this age. No one in this age can attain the perfectional stage of such yoga, but people indulge in practicing sitting postures, which is more or less a gymnastic process. By such bodily gymnastics, One may develop good circulation and may therefore keep one's body fit. But if one simply restricts oneself to the gymnastic process, one cannot attain the highest perfectional stage. The yoga process as described in the Keshava Shruti prescribes how one can control his living force according to his desire and transmigrate from one body to another or from one place to another. In other words, yoga practice is not meant to keep the body fit. Any transcendental process of spiritual realization automatically helps one to keep the body fit, for it is the spirit soul that keeps the body always fresh. As soon as the spirit soul is out of the body, the material body immediately begins to decompose. Any spiritual process keeps the body fit without separate endeavor, but if one takes it that the ultimate aim of yoga is to maintain the body, then he is mistaken. The real perfection of yoga is elevation of the soul to a higher position or the liberation of the soul from material entanglement. Some yogis try to elevate the soul to higher planet systems where the standard of life is different from that of this planet and where the material comforts, lifespan, and other facilities for self-realization are greater, and some yogis endeavor to elevate the soul to the spiritual world, the spiritual Vaikuntha planet. The Bhakti Yoga process directly elevates the soul to the spiritual planets where life is eternally blissful and full of knowledge. Therefore, Bhakti Yoga is considered to be the greatest of all yoga systems. Again, Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. So beg the blessings of everyone. I apologize today. His Grace Shamandaksha Prabhu is busy serving His Holiness Bhakti Vasudev Maharaj. And I'm in this unfortunate position of having to speak. Tomorrow is Radha Ashtami, but I'm speaking even though it's far beyond my qualification. So I beg the blessings of everyone. If anything I'm going to speak today, it's only because of the blessings of all the devotees. Hare Krishna. Beg the blessings of everyone, especially the ecstatic devotees. So, Krishna consciousness is the change of consciousness. And changing the consciousness, as Srila Prabhupada says in this purport, Prabhupada is saying, this is the astonishing thing about Srila Prabhupada. Slowly and slowly, I'm trying to understand Prabhupada, how much Srila Prabhupada wants to make everyone Krishna conscious. So you see how so beautifully Srila Prabhupada is connecting the giving full value to the process that Sati, Mother Sati practiced. And then after that, Prabhupada is slowly going to the transcendental platform of Krishna consciousness. So this is actually, speaking for myself, this is the way to actually preach, is to make the person, make him fully comfortable, and then slowly elevate his consciousness to the platform of Krishna consciousness. So yoga means to elevate the life air. So to raise the life air to the brain, and then Prabhupada explains that an expert yogi actually cracks the cerebral column and goes to the higher planet systems. Or if a yogi aspires to go to Vaikuntha, as Prabhupada speaks in the purport, he can go to Vaikuntha also. So, this process, Hare Krishna. So this process of becoming expert in yoga practice can give one many siddhis, many mystic powers, and those mystic powers can eventually distract one from the very purpose of yoga. So the purpose of yoga, as described in Bhagavad Gita, is to attain samadhi. What is samadhi? Samadhi means to meditate, to be in continuous meditation on the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But it is very interesting that these mystic powers distract the yogi, and nowadays everyone hears about mystic powers. If you hear about any guru or any yogi, we hear about his different mystic powers, and that's where it stops. But if one goes beyond that, progresses, um, dhyan, dharana, and eventually samadhi. Samadhi is very interesting stage because samadhi is the stage where the living entity is completely, his desires are completely one with the Supreme Lord, and he feels or she feels unnatural or uncomfortable when he or she is not serving the Supreme Lord. So that is the state of samadhi. Samadhi is the highest stage, is ultimate absorption. Prabhupada glorifies samadhi also by saying that if one engages his mind, body, and words in the service of the Lord and is constantly engaged, Tesham Satyuktanam, then slowly and slowly, Krishna supplies what one lacks and preserves whatever a devotee has in Krishna consciousness, and supplies the devotee whatever he may lack in Krishna consciousness, and eventually he becomes yukta. Yukta means completely connected with the Supreme Lord in transcendental loving service. So spiritual realization automatically helps to keep the body fit. So if one practices a bona fide process of spirituality under an expert devotee of the Lord, then slowly and slowly he is going to ascend to the platform of samadhi. So by practicing this process of Krishna consciousness, how does the body become fit? Prabhupada says the body becomes fit by yoga practice. So the way the body becomes fit is as one practices spiritual life more and more, then one becomes free from attachment to the subtle body and the gross body. Even though the subtle body and gross body may be there, but one's attachment to it reduces because of the association of the pure devotee and because of the association of sincere devotees of the Lord. So, the first kind of samadhi that we should aim to attain is actually Nam Samadhi. So, what is Nam Samadhi? Nam Samadhi means to desire to chant more and more. I mean, I'm not qualified to speak, but I have to speak because this is a process which is given by our acharyas. So I'm speaking for my own purification, for my own advancement. So the first thing is Nam Samadhi. It's very high stage, but in order to be firmly situated on the platform of Krishna consciousness, one has to intensely desire Nam Samadhi. So Rupa Goswami glorifies this stage by saying Tunde Tandavini. Srila Prabhupada says that Rupa Goswami is saying that when will I get thousands of tongues to chant and thousands of ears to hear? So Haridas Thakur is personification of uh, intense Nam Samadhi, intense absorption in the holy name, chanting the holy name. In Nectar of Instruction, this Samadhi is glorified in the 8th verse. where Prabhupada gives the different types of concentration, and how Prabhupada says that the goal is to attain complete unceasing meditation on the holy name, on the holy form, on the holy qualities and the holy pastimes of the Supreme Lord. This should be the first aspiration of any devotee in Krishna consciousness. We should intensely pray to the holy name, should intensely pray to God Nitai, because in this age, the main way to attain the lotus feet of Krishna, to give pleasure to Krishna, is by chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. That is the main contribution, that is the main message, that is the main process of self-realization given to us by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And that's why you see Srila Prabhupada, that's what Prabhupada mainly propagated. Prabhupada mainly propagated chanting of the holy name, constant chanting of the holy name, and especially Nam Sankirtan. So this is the main process. And as I mentioned on Sunday in the class, that only the Gaudiya Vaishnav Sampradaya has access to Radhakund. And Radhakund is the highest place in all the material and spiritual worlds, uh, as mentioned nectar of instruction. Yes, other sampradayas may know of Radhakund, but that kind of attachment, that kind of reverence, that kind of worship that uh, that Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya has, nobody else has. Why? Because Radhakund was ultimately excavated, Radhakund was ultimately given to us by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So only by the shelter of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, following the process that Mahaprabhu has given, will it be possible for us to attain attraction to that divine realm. So this is a very, very exalted subject matter, but at the same time, एतां स आस्थाय परात्मनिष्ठम् अध्यासितं पूर्वतमैर्महर्षिभिः अहो तरिष्यामि दुरन्तपारं तमो मुकुन्दाङ्घ्रिणि सेवयैव. So Avanti Brahmana is speaking this verse in Srimad Bhagavatam 11th canto, and he is saying that there is no doubt that I will attain the perfection of my life. Why? Because I am following the same path followed by all the great acharyas. So, if we follow the footsteps of our previous acharyas and attain intense attachment for the holy name of the Lord, then there is no doubt that by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's grace, we will definitely attain that attachment to the lotus feet of Krishna, to the lotus feet of Srimati Radharani. So, the end of the purport, Prabhupada is mentioning that the Bhakti Yoga process directly elevates the soul to the spiritual planets where life is eternally blissful and full of knowledge. Therefore, Bhakti Yoga is considered to be the greatest of all yoga systems. So, what is Bhakti Yoga? What is Bhakti? Bhakti means Anukulyena Krishnanushilanam, is to be favorable to Krishna's pleasure and to follow in the footsteps of the previous acharyas. Of these two things, more important than even considering Krishna's pleasure, because to consider Krishna's pleasure is only possible for someone who is connected to Krishna. Only someone who is connected to Krishna can understand what pleases Krishna. Just like Srila Prabhupada. How could someone understand, material person understand that by selling books, by opening temples, that we're going to please the Supreme Lord? A normal materialistic person will think that if you want to please Krishna, then you should just sit and read and chant about Krishna. So why should we do all this service? Why should we propagate Why should we preach? But only the pure devotee knows what pleases Krishna, and not only what pleases, but how to please Krishna. So, um, all the positive aspects of pure devotional service, utsahan, nischay, dhairya, tatat karma pravartana, sangat tyaga sato vritte, shadbir bhakti prasiditi. Sorry, yeah, did I quote it correctly? I'm sorry. So, all those aspects, being enthusiastic, being determined, being patient, following the principles of hearing and chanting, all the six principles, the key is actually sato vritti. Sato vritti means actually to follow in the footsteps of the great souls. Because when we follow in the footsteps of the great souls and we get their mercy and we feel a connection with them. Right now, we are feeling a connection with this world. We're feeling a connection with this body, with mm, the place related to this body, the place of birth, and different mental impressions. We're feeling connection with all those things. We feel those as mine. But the day when we will become attracted, Narad Muni speaks about his path of perfection personally to Vyasadeva and Srimad Bhagavatam, and Narad Muni is saying that how he became very much attached to the sages. So only the day when we feel a genuine attachment to the previous acharyas will it be possible for us to be qualified to obtain their mood. And only through that mood, to the extent that we have grasped that mood, to that extent, we can get their mercy. And when we get their mercy, then slowly and slowly we can identify with the Supreme Lord. I'm just thinking about myself. If I actually realize when I'm seeing, I mean, forget about anyone else, but if I even realize that Srila Prabhupada is personally present here, then how could I do anything which displeases Prabhupada? Prabhupada gives so many instructions, but if I were to realize actually Srila Prabhupada is here, then I won't give any excuses. But I'm giving excuses why? Because I don't realize, I don't experience that Prabhupada is here. I don't have that vision. I'm not so qualified in Krishna consciousness. But Prabhupada disciples, they have that vision, they have that attachment. They consider Prabhupada as their everything. Guru Mata, Guru Pita, Guru Morapati. Guru Vina A Samsare Ara Nahi Kat. So Prabhupada disciples, they have realized this, they're living this. That's why they have no complaint. When they left their home, they had no consideration. Oh, who will take care of me? Oh, where is my mother? They would not visit their mother regularly. They join the ashram and they join the ashram. There's no question of visiting parents. There's no question of any external affection at all. Complete depends on Prabhupada. And the most amazing thing about those times was Srila Prabhupada would come once a year to the temple. There would be hundreds of devotees, and most devotees would not get a chance to speak with Prabhupada. If they were fortunate, they would just get a glance of Srila Prabhupada. And they just lived on that. They just lived on that. Some devotees didn't even get that. His Holiness Niranjan Maharaj was speaking that how that teachings of Queen Kunti, those days it was very difficult even to get a recording. So one day he got that recording and he said that he heard that recording, the same lecture, he heard like 100 times. So this is how much attachment, and on that attachment, what kind of austerities they performed. Maharaj was mentioning that how in Boston they had no heat, absolutely no heat, and how they would sleep in jacket. How practical is that? And Maharaj mentioned not like the woolen thick jacket, like like a raincoat, those kind of jackets. So like that, every day was so austere. And yeah, what they would get for lunch, breakfast. Breakfast, I think they would get some, yeah, a little oatmeal, and lunch, like something like half an orange and five chickpeas. But they survived like this for years. Why? Because of their intense attachment to Srila Prabhupada. And that's why there's no doubt about it that that's why they're in such an exalted spiritual situation now. So it's not easy to do what they're doing. It's incredible. Like to be sick, to get injured, or whatever it may be, it's such a pain on the body. But they've accepted so much karma from so many disciples, and still, they are uh, carrying on in such a wonderful way. So, how does this process of elevation of consciousness happen? So, first of all, to elevate the consciousness, because Srimati Radharani is the highest platform of Krishna consciousness, and Prabhupada says in one lecture uh, that Radharani is even greater than Krishna, in the sense that Radha and Krishna are described like one soul in two bodies. But for the sake of transcendental expression, the Lord has manifested. Parasha Shaktir Vividhaiva Shruyate. So Radharani, because her service attitude is so spontaneous, so attractive, so ever new, and her sacrifice is limitless. Therefore, Krishna becomes eternally indebted to her, remains eternally indebted to her because of her extreme service attitude. So that's why Krishna, of course, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not a temporary, not an incarnation, but just for our understanding, that's why Krishna accepted this position, Lord Chaitanya. Actually, Lord Chaitanya is Krishna, but at the same time, Lord Chaitanya is a Krishna. Prabhupada says. Why? Because Mahaprabhu's mood is Radha. So Krishna accepting the mood of Radha, that is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So first we have to develop that relationship with Guru, with pure devotees. And then slowly that relationship will come to Nityananda, God Nitai. So when we become aware, when we become attached to God Nitai, that yes, Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda, they're not just the Lord, but they're my Lord. Narottam Das Thakur says that, my dear Lord, if you don't give me mercy, then we are sorry. We have to change your name. Your name is Patit Pavan. We have to erase that name if you don't give me mercy. Why Narottam Das Thakur is speaking like this? Patita Pavan Hetu Tava Avatar. Mosama Patita Prabhu Na Paive Ar. Because Narottam Das Thakur is feeling uh, that relationship with the pastimes of Lordship. He's identifying, he's feeling the emotions, he's feeling a very strong sense of belongingness to God Leela. I always meditate. In God Leela we sing. In the last line we sing. Bhakti Vinoda Dekhe Gaurara Sampada. I don't remember exactly, but something. So Bhakti Vinod Thakur is seeing this, is seeing the family of Lord Chaitanya as the Aarti ceremony is going on the bank of the Ganges. Very Mahaprabhu is looking so resplendent. Mahaprabhu is looking so merciful, so munificent, so beautiful. And the Aarti ceremony is going on. And all the great personalities are performing the Aarti of Lord Chaitanya. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur is identifying with this, appreciating this. That is a Gaur Aarti. Actually, when I speak for myself, before we sing any song, First, we should go to the end and see who wrote the song. And we should pray to that personality. And we should pray that that personality will give us, will transfer to our heart what they're feeling when they're singing these lines. So first, identify with Lord Nityananda, Raghunath Das Goswami and Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. First, they got the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu by intense Vaishnav Seva. So first, we have to intensely serve the mission of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This is absolutely important. If someone does not want to serve the mission, wants to stay away, then that identification, that mamatva will not come. So the first thing is to get that deep belongingness to the mood and the mission of Gaur Nitai. Then, now I'm speaking beyond my realization, but I'm just to glorify the process. So then the next thing which happens is Raghunath Das Goswami's example. So Raghunath Das Goswami, by performing Vaishnav Seva, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami performing Vaishnav Seva, what happened? They got the eligibility, because they're eternal, but they're teaching us. Then the eligibility comes to identify with Mahaprabhu's pastimes. Mahaprabhu's pastimes, especially in the Gambhira, or even any of Mahaprabhu's pastimes, they are very, very high, very exalted. So Mahaprabhu shedding tears, Mahaprabhu feeling so much separation from Krishna that Mahaprabhu is scratching his face on the wall, he's bleeding. Sometimes Mahaprabhu is here, sometimes Mahaprabhu is there. So Mahaprabhu is in what you call semi-consciousness. For the people of this world, Mahaprabhu for some time is associated with us, but then every now and then Mahaprabhu was going into internal consciousness. And then by identifying with Mahaprabhu, by feeling, by becoming attached to the moods of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then what happens? Then eventually, more and more, one becomes attached to Mahaprabhu, become attached to those feelings of Mahaprabhu. Those feelings come in one's heart, then slowly, slowly, one gets the qualification to become attached to Radha and Krishna. So we see, like the six Goswamis, Raghunath Das Goswami, how his attachment slowly, Nityananda Prabhu, then to Mahaprabhu, Swarup Damodar Goswami, and he was with Mahaprabhu, Swarup Damodar Goswami for so many years. Day and night he was with them, absorbing their moods and doing his own intense practice, intense renunciation. And then finally, Raghunath Goswami landed up in Radhakund. So we cannot jump to Radhakund. We cannot jump to Radharani prematurely. Yes, on festival days, by their mercy, there is some mercy, and I'm sure many of you are exalted and qualified to directly approach Radharani. But as far as I am concerned, I'm very far. I have a very long way to go. I mean, I can jump and dance. I can even chant her name, although I'm not qualified. But to attain that platform of Krishna consciousness, like Raghunath Das Goswami, Rupa Goswami, our pure devotees in our movement, it really takes that qualification. And that's why His Holiness Haladhar Maharaj says, Radha Krishna, moods of Radha and Krishna, they are revealed. We cultivate Gaur Nitai consciousness, we cultivate our service, and Radha and Krishna, that is revealed. It's revealed. Pure devotional service has only one price, is intense greed. So that when that intense greed comes, then it will be revealed in the heart. That intense greed cannot be artificially developed. But when Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda become very pleased with our efforts, Srila Prabhupada becomes very pleased, then Prabhupada will transfer that greed Guru will transfer that greed from his heart to our heart. Yatha yatha gaurav padar vinde. Vindeta bhaktin krita punya rasi. This is very important. Yatha yatha. To the extent that one becomes attached to Gaura Padara Vinde, the lotus feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Vindeta Bhaktim Krita Punya Rasi. It's like Raghunath Das Goswami attained such intense attachment to the lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya that what happened? Even though his wife was as beautiful, more beautiful than Indra's wife, still he completely rejected that. He completely was not concerned with that. And he got Vindeta Bhaktim Krita Punya Rasi, which means a very special kind of qualification. What is that? A very special kind of adhikar. Tatha tathot. And when one that heaps and piles of that adhikar becomes accumulated in one's heart, then Hriday Akashmat, suddenly from nowhere, Radha Padam Vojas, when you feel an intense attraction to the lotus feet of Radharani. That is a process of Gaudiya Vaishnava Parampara. So we want to attain that thing. We want to attain a permanent realization, a permanent relationship with Radharani, Srimati Radharani. So that is our goal. That is the goal of our life. That is the life of our life. That's why Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, a real Gaudiya, I'm just quoting, Vaishnavas are devotees of Vishnu, Kashnas are devotees of Krishna, Gaudiyas, they are devotees of Srimati Radha. So that is our parampara. But to become a Gaudiya, how high is that? How deep is that? How profound is that? So for that, we need to follow this process by slowly, step by step, by getting the mercy. So Raghunath Goswami is our Prayojan Acharya. So he is the shining example of what it means to be attached to Radharani. How he would, cry piteously day and night for the service of Radharani. And that's it. That was his happiness. That is his eternal happiness, is to attain a little service to Radharani. And same Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Saraswati Thakur, they all have that same mood, that same intent. Saraswati Thakur, he attained this kind of attachment to Radharani that one day he was just speaking about to some scientists, and he was speaking about how this process is so wonderful. He started speaking spontaneously about Lalita Devi. Then he started speaking about Ananga Manjari, and as soon as he uttered the name Ananga Manjari, he could no longer control himself. And his tears started cascading from his eyes. And then he just went and he locked himself in his room. And for 3 days, he didn't come out. Raghunath Das Goswami, he was so much in love with Radharani that when he read one of the plays of Rupa Goswami where Krishna was taken out of Vrindavan, when Krishna left Vrindavan. He identified so much with the mood of Radharani, how Radharani is feeling so much separation from Krishna that he could not stop crying. And then Rupa Goswami had to write another play to pacify him. That is Raghunath Das Goswami. Even though Raghunath Das Goswami is having darshan of Radharani every day, Raghunath Das Goswami is constantly thinking that, oh, I am so far away, I am so unqualified. That is our parampara. In our parampara, service of Radharani is most glorified. All our acharyas are manjaris. Who is a manjari? What is it? Manjari is someone in the Nitya Leela whose business is only one thing, that is unending, uninterrupted service to Radharani. And our acharyas describe that the manjaris, they're so great that just like um, in a tulsi plant, if you shake the plant, you see the tulsi manjari, you see the leaf. So if the leaf shakes some amount or the plant shakes some amount, the manjari shakes far greater than that. So in the same way, the manjaris actually, they, if Radharani is feeling something little bit, they feel 100 million times that. So they day and night, they're just relishing that intense service to Radharani. That is their life and soul. And all the exchanges of union and separation, whatever Radharani experiences in her union with Krishna or in the separation from Krishna, they experience not only that, but gazillion times that. That is our parampara. That's where we want to go. That is Radha Kund. That's why I mentioned that Radha Kund, real Radha Kund, moon of Radha Kund is only accessible by Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya. Because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to give that thing, Anarpita Charim Chirat. So that is what we are aspiring for. That intense, uninterrupted service to Srimati Radharani in this life. So for that, if we follow the process, if we please Srila Prabhupada, that's why Prabhupada distributed nectar of instruction to to give us the impetus to aspire for that thing. Otherwise, why Prabhupada gave nectar of instruction? Why did Prabhupada give nectar of devotion? Because Prabhupada wants us to aspire for that thing, but we have to follow the process. We have to follow the gradual elevation of consciousness. And we have, unless we can cry for our guru, unless we can cry for previous acharyas, unless we feel a connection to them, they are part of me. I belong to them. More than I belong to anyone else, I belong to them. My life, my everything belongs to them. So the day that we can start feeling that thing, only on that day, from that day we can start feeling attachment to Srimati Radharani. So we are so fortunate that we have this amazing opportunity to develop this intense attachment to our acharyas. So we should take this golden opportunity and pray to them every day. It's not very difficult for us to memorize their pranam mantras. We pray to them and pray that please make me your own. Like Narottam Das Thakur is saying that Narottame Korodoya Apanara Gori. Make me your own. This should be our prayer. Take control, complete control of my life. I am eternally sold out to you. So when we have that kind of intense service mood, so just like the way Raghunath Goswami had that intense service mood to Rupa Goswami. So that is the day that we will be qualified to receive this gift from their heart, from a heart to a heart. Just like conduction of electricity, it has to be transferred from a heart to a heart. So this is what we should pray on Radhashtami day. And also, if we have gotten anything, if we have received anything from Srila Prabhupada or from our spiritual master in this regard, we should keep it strictly secret. We should keep it strictly confidential, always thinking that I'm not qualified. I got something, but I'm not qualified. And we should never advertise. If you advertise it, finish. Completely finish. So we should keep it confidential, and we should develop a very strong internal hankering for the mercy. And we should pray that please, please allow me to surrender to you. Allow me to become part and parcel of your life, part and parcel of your mission. So it's like Narottam Das Thakur. Narottam Das Thakur is one of my favorite acharyas because of two things. First thing is how much intense greed he had for attaining the lotus feet of Lokanath Goswami, to what extent he went. And second, Narottam Das Thakur's principal, one of his principal pure disciples is Ganganarayan Chakravarti. Ganganarayan Chakravarti has so much intense attachment to Narottam Das Thakur that when Narottam Das Thakur performed this pastime of leaving, I mean, Narottam Das Thakur, of course, an eternal associate of Radharani, but when Narottam Das Thakur performed that pastime of leaving this world, Ganganayan Chakravarti, at that time, what happened? Some Brahmanas, some quote unquote Brahmanas, they started criticizing Narottam Das Thakur. And Narottam Das Thakur, the reason why he left was because, even though he's these are all pastimes of previous acharyas, but just for the sake of mentioning, so even though Narottam Das Thakur was not a quote unquote born Brahmana, he initiated other Brahmanas. He converted others to Brahminical order. So when they started criticizing, Ganganayan Chakravarti couldn't take it, and he started intensely praying and crying. And because of his intense attachment to his guru, his Narottam Das Thakur came back to life. Narottam Das Thakur was so effulgent, so brilliant, so attractive that instantly those Brahmanas who criticized him, they fell at his feet and said, "Give us initiation." Narottam Das Thakur gave them initiation. And then Narottam Das Thakur disappeared again. After suffering, disappeared again into Nitya Leela. And then that time when they observed his appearance celebration, Narottam Das Thakur personally appeared and spoke to all the devotees, asked about them. This is incredible. So that's why when Narottam Das Thakur writes Shri Guru Charane Rati Aise Uttamagati, we can understand the gravity of this statement. So, whether it's Shri Guru Charana Padma or Shri Rupa Manjari Pada, it's the same principle, same principle. So by Guru Charana Padma, one will attain that. What is that? Haha Rupa Korodaya Deho Mori Padachaya. Sorry. Yeah. Chiro Dina Tapita Jivan. I forgot the exact line. So Chiro Dina Tapita Jivan. Tapita Jivan means his heart is burning, his heart is palpitating without Narottam Das Thakur is praying that without the darshan of Rupa Manjari, he is palpitating, he cannot contain his body like that. So that all starts with the same thing, by service to Guru. So this is the glory of our acharyas. Our acharyas are so great. We should be so proud of our acharyas. At the lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada, we have all these, everything. Prabhupada has given us everything perfectly. Prabhupada's society has given us so much and is continuing to give us so many wonderful gems. So, tomorrow is a very auspicious, very, very auspicious day. And we can pray in the core of the heart. First, we should pray to our Guru actually. Should pray to our Guru, should pray to Prabhupada that I really want to attain this thing. Even though it is far, I'm willing to give anything. I'm willing to sacrifice anything for this thing. So we can pray like this, and we can fall at the feet of Srila Prabhupada, especially Srila Prabhupada and our Guru, that they can give us the qualification to deserve. That's why Prabhupada says deserve before you desire. What does it mean to deserve before you desire? It means that there is no other desire except that desire in your heart, or at least that desire is far bigger than any other desire in your heart. So that is a qualification by the mercy of Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srimati Radharani ki jai. Anyone has any question or comment? Online?
Thank you, Srimati Prabhuji. Dandapranam, Srila Prabhupada.
Mhm.
Prabhuji, very nice class today. And especially the points that you mentioned that we have to develop a connection with Guru, and then that will transform into connection to Mahaprabhu and Nityanand Prabhu. So that was a very wonderful point, Prabhuji, because ultimately reaching to the lotus feet of Radharani is so difficult. So thank you so much for that point. And also about the songs of Acharyas, the point where you mentioned before we recite any song or pray through that song, we should pray to the personality who has written that song and try to understand their mood and pray to them to transfer that mood to us. So very applicable points, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
I beg for the mercy of all the devotees. Anyone else has any question or comment?
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam, all goes to Prabhupada. Prabhuji, I have a question, Prabhu.
Yes.
Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Manmana, in the time of death, are always remember me. But
Yes.
I don't know, because like me, always remember my Guru Maharaj. Face, lotus feet, everything. Trying to remember lotus feet of Krishna, but always remember Guru. So, but when the time of leaving body, if I remember my Guru Maharaj instead of Krishna, so what happens?
Yeah, bro. I mean, Prabhupada said one time that if you remember me, then you will attain the same result as remembering Krishna. Prabhupada said that. So, yes, that's definitely there. But also, it is true that according to our attachment to Guru, according to our realization of Guru, we will attain Krishna according to that also. That's there also. So if we realize Guru as an associate of Lord Chaitanya, we'll attain Navadvip. If we attain realization of our Guru as an eternal associate of Krishna, then we attain Vrindavan. So yeah, so definitely highest benefit is there, but according to our realization.
Because I remember her Grace Yamuna Mataji, when the time of leaving her body, she hold the small Prabhupada deity.
Yes, Prabhu. See, there is no doubt that Shri Guru Charanarati is Uttamagati. You will get the Uttamagati. But the only point I'm stressing is that according to the level of our spiritual advancement, accordingly, we'll see Guru in that way. See, everyone can remember Guru. I can also remember Prabhupada. I know pure devotees also remember Prabhupada. But the way I remember Prabhupada and the way they remember Prabhupada is different. Because they realize Prabhupada. My realization of Prabhupada may be just as okay, he is a sannyasi, he's ISKCON founder Acharya, but they may realize him as an associate of Krishna. Not they may, they have. Because it takes a pure devotee to know a pure devotee. So ultimately, it's good, it's wonderful. But all I'm stressing is that, yeah, I mean, we are seeing right now our guru as a sannyasi, and that's okay. In this world, that's true, but there are deeper truths also which are there, which I have not realized. I'm very far, but from the previous acharyas, that's what we can learn. That yes, Bhartam Das Thakur is praying to Prabhupada. Actually, recently I was hearing Prabhupada. In his humility, Prabhupada was saying, one devotee asked Prabhupada, so Prabhupada, you're an eternal associate of Radha and Krishna. He said, no, no, I'm not an eternal associate of Krishna. No, but my guru is an eternal associate of Krishna, Radha and Krishna. Yes, he is there. If you realize your guru means, how can you be separated from that? So, yeah, so takes a pure devotee to know a pure devotee.
And one more realization, Prabhu, like whenever we enter to a temple, we go to Prabhupada first and go to Radha Gopijanvalabha. But in front of Radha Gopijanvalabha, I don't fear that much.
Here
But
means
when,
what?
like when if I see any mistakes or a thing, but when I see Prabhupada face to face in the eyes, I get scared like anything. Then I remember everything morning to evening, what I did mistakes, please. So it is like
Yeah,
a
that means our relationship, our services with Prabhupada, and there's nothing wrong with that, Prabhu. Slowly that will transfer more and more. So there's nothing to be afraid of, there's nothing to be concerned. That attachment will slowly and surely, it will transfer. So you don't have to be worried about that. So that's what, if we simply intensely desire to serve Prabhupada, follow Prabhupada's instructions, and that's what, this is the key actually. Prabhupada says, if you simply engage in the process and senses in the service of Krishna and don't allow the senses to go anywhere else. I'm not speaking about mind, I'm speaking about senses. So if we try to do that, then one is assured of success. Prabhupada speaks in books. So basically, if a devotee does satata, means constant devotional service, okay, you're working, except for work, except for some family time which you have to do. If you are engaged constantly in Krishna consciousness, then for sure you'll attain perfection in this life. There's no doubt about it.
okay, Prabhuji, thank you so much.
I mean, the only problem comes when we go out of the boundary of devotional service. Like, I mean, I don't have to mention, but we go out of the boundary, we engage in non-devotional activities, then our surrender becomes mixed. But as long as we always engage how much ever we can, then we are always in pure devotion. Our surrender is pure. And naturally, you see that your prayers become pure also. You'll only pray for pure things. You will never go in front of Radha Govinda and pray for anything except pure devotional service. Because that's what you're doing. I mean, because that's what you're constantly aspiring for. Even though you may be, sometimes you have some problem, you have some emergency problem, you may say, my Lord, it's very difficult. But heart of hearts will never pray for that. Like, I'll give you an example. Suppose you have someone has an intense sickness, intense fever. So yes, it will cause a lot of discomfort. And you may pray occasionally, my Lord, I'm not able to serve you. This is very difficult. But he will never pray that, my Lord, please make me all right so that I can enjoy sense gratification. No. He will pray always will be that, my Lord, I want to become a pure devotee. And he will also pray this thing also, that this thing is happening to me. I pray that this gives me the qualification to develop that intense greed for your lotus feet. Develop that intense service attitude towards your lotus feet.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Anyone else has any question or comment?
Thank you very much, Prabhuji, for the nectarian class. Very, very inspiring, and thank you for setting the mood. Hare Krishna.
Anyway, so I submit again at the end of today's discussion that not qualified to speak anything. but I think all of you blessed me and prayed for me. That's why I was able to speak something. So I need your blessings. Consciousness is very degraded. I need your blessings so that and I can offer at least some sacrifice, some consciousness tomorrow to the lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada, to Guru, to Gaur Nitai, to Krishna and to Radharani, to Srimati Radharani tomorrow. So I beg for the blessings of everyone. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki
Thank you so much.
Kishore Prabhu ki jai.
all glories to you.